Warning, this content is for entertainment and educational purposes only. I do not make any warranties to its accuracy, applicability, or completeness. The content is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice. Always seek the advice of a qualified health provider. Never disregard professional medical advice or delay in seeking it because of any information presented here. I disclaim all liability to any party for direct, indirect, implied, punitive, special, incidental, or other consequential damages arising directly or indirectly from its use. Hey guys, Paul here with my contest prep update. 14 weeks out. This is for March 5th. I'm actually recording it before March 5th, but close enough. Before we get into this, please take the time to subscribe to my channel. It's the best way you can show your appreciation for all the awesome content I'm putting up. If you want to get in contact with me about coaching, my contact information is below in the video description. I can be reached at Paul K. Barnett on Instagram. I can also be reached at bigp3rd@gmail.com. If you have comments or questions, or you want to just tell me how ugly and hairy I am, you can do so in the comment section below. All right, guys. So, getting into the contest prep. This week was kind of a fucking shit week. I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot going on at work and just a lot of outside stressors I'm not gonna get into, and I ended up in the fucking ER. Thought I had they initially thought I had a staph infection on my leg. I had this big purple spot on the back of my leg. And then it put me on antibiotics that wasn't helping, and then it swelled up to the size of a golf ball, and kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and I ended up in the ER. And when I got to the ER, they cut it open and found out that it was actually a cyst on my hamstring that had ruptured. I guess when I was training legs, I don't know, but they had to open my leg up to let it drain. So I went to the ER yesterday, had that done. I got a giant hole in the back of my leg right now. I have never had this happen before. This is one of the most fucking painful things I've experienced in my life. I've had knee surgeries, I've broken bones, I've been through all kinds of shit, and this hurts like fuck to have a gaping wound on the back of my leg. But anyway, I did my best to train. I follow the diet perfectly. I don't let stuff like that. Shit weeks like this happen when you're on contest prep. Life still goes on, and you have to just keep fighting through. That's the thing I can't emphasize enough with contest prep is you can't, I think sometimes when things don't go perfectly, people just are like, fuck it, I'm giving up. And it's easy to do because contest prep is stressful by itself. Not that I'm at the stressful part of it. This is pretty easy right now. It doesn't really get hard until like the last 6-8 weeks. But you just got to work through stuff, things are going to happen unless some sort of health reason comes along that you have to pull out of contest prep, and that can happen. My weight this week was 264. It did not change at all, but I feel like I hardened up. That's the wild thing. My blood pressure's been running a little high, 135 over 85. I'm only taking half dose of the X-Forge, so I don't know if I need to raise it up. It's probably from starting my blast back up again. I always get this spike in my blood pressure when I start my blast back up. It could also be the stress this week. This was a very, very stressful week, as I mentioned. My fasted glucose was running in the high 90s. It's been back down, since I've been cleaning the diet up and been doing cardio. It's been back down more in the normal range. It was running in the 120s, 110s, which is high. So that was pretty much this week. It was a fucked up week, but I got through it. Progress pics right now. This is where I'm at right now. I think this is about on track for where I'm at right now. Visible outlines of my abs. I always carry a little fat on my chest and my back. It seems to be where I carry fat for some reason. Nice here. I got my underwear on inside out, because I'm a classy guy like that. Who needs to turn your underwear the right side out after you take a shower? But anyway, I feel pretty good about where I'm at. The big thing I'm worried about, as always with contest prep, is hanging on to size. I can get big, no problem. I have no problem getting big. I have no problem losing fat. I have problems hanging on to size. That's always been my issue. As I get small, it seems like I lose equal amounts of muscle, equal amounts of fat but I think I've got some plans in place this year to mitigate that. Different style of training. I've always been a heavy, low volume HIIT style trainer, and I am not anymore. I am doing, this past year, I've done high volume, lighter weights. I feel like that style of training is more sustainable through contest prep. The heavyweights HIIT style training does not work during contest prep, I don't think. I don't know. I really am kind of honestly in love with the high volume training, and I can kick myself in the ass for not doing it sooner. It seems like my body responds really, really well to it. But I've always trained in that dog crap Dorian Yates style of method, but my body seems to like this better. Current PED protocol. Right now, as you if you've seen the PED video where for my contest prep cycle, you know that I slowly ratchet things up. So we're in week 3 now of it. So I increased from 600 milligrams to 750 tests. I increased the Primo from 400 to 600 milligrams. I have 100 milligrams of NPP, and they're purely just for my shoulder. My shoulder is a fucking wreck. I can feel the NPP kicking in now. My shoulder, even with the torn labrum, my shoulder just feels just a little bit better. Could be in my head. It's probably in my head, but it seems like I'm not getting the aches and pains and stuff that I was before. I am doing a 0.5 milligram of Arimidex every other day. That'll ratchet up as we go through the contest prep, but for right now, it seems to be fine. Really, if this were the off season, I wouldn't even use an AI with these doses. I can get by without an AI at those doses. 6 units of GH every day. Splitting the doses up, 3 units in the AM, 3 units in the PM. 1,000 milligrams of metformin, 1,000 milligrams of berberine, half of X-Forge for blood pressure. Human log on the high days is needed. If you want to know how I use human log, I have a video up with my insulin protocol, and I'm taking 25 units of Lantus every day pre-bed. I'll keep an eye on that as you progress. Somebody asked me this weekend, it was a good question. As you progress through contest prep, I usually find that I don't need it. So, your insulin sensitivity gets better. You're eating less carbs. You're doing more cardio. There's less of a need for insulin. So, I will likely pull that back or completely remove it at some point. For now, it seems to be good. Current diet, I just got my diet from Justin Harris. He pulled my carbs back. Low day, 35 grams of carbs at each meal, 10 grams of added fats. My added fats, I usually use nuts, nut butter, olive oil. Those are what I use for my added fats. So we have here now on, let's see, 3,580 I'm sorry, 2,580 calories on my low days. Sorry about that. Medium days, we pulled the carbs back as well. So we're down to 330 grams of total carbs. My calories on those days are, let's see, 2560. So, like 2,900-ish, almost 3,000 on my medium days, which are training days. The low days are off days, for those of you that don't know that. And I do 1 high day per week. That would be a leg day. I usually do my leg day on Tuesdays. I like to fill up. This is a tip for you guys if you do contest prep. I like to do my high carb day with carb cycling or refeed day or cheat earlier in the work week. I have a desk job. I'm on a computer, I do IT, so I need to be able to think clearly. And as you get towards the end of contest prep, your brain does not click on all cylinders. I like to have that high carb day earlier in the week, so I'm full, I'm filled out with carbs, and my brain actually works a little better. If I'm going to suffer, I'd rather suffer on the weekend when I don't have to think. High day is the same. It's 4,400 calories. Well, probably more than that. It's more like 5,000 calories with the cheat meal. I might do a cheat meal for my last meal on the high days. This week I did have a cheat meal. He told me that last year I didn't do any cheat meals on my contest prep, except for where he told me, maybe 2 through the whole contest prep. But this year he said he wants me to have 1 cheat meal a week, because last year I got too small. So we want to keep the cheat meal. And this week I did a beef and chicken combo kebab with rice, and I had a piece of bread with it, whatever the bread that comes with it. Pretty simple, straightforward. I mean, it's really still, it's just chicken and rice, or meat and rice, but a little higher fat. So those are the type of cheat meals I try to stick with. So I will do something like that. Or I'll go to Texas Roadhouse. There's one right by my house. I'll go there and just get like a sirloin. I'll get something like an 11-ounce sirloin, and I'll eat 2 baked potatoes. They always ask me, they always look at me weird when I order 2 plain baked potatoes. They're like, "You sure you want 2?" I'm like, "Yeah, I want 2 baked potatoes." That's a very filling, good meal, a little bit extra fat, and it's not too terrible. Current training split hasn't changed. Push-pull legs off, so I train 6 days a week. Rep schemes, same, 12 on compound movements, 15 to 20 reps on isolation movements. I actually feel like I've been getting stronger, which has been the strange thing. I moved my weights up a little bit on some of my exercises. I don't get overly consumed with how much weight I'm pushing anymore. I'm more worried about pushing volume than I am weight, but if the weight starts getting too easy, I will crank it up a little bit. I really, I lifted heavy when I was young. I did a lot of strength training when I was young, and did some powerlifting. So I got pretty strong for a while. I don't know. I just don't feel the need to do it at 48. Heavy bench presses, deadlifts, squats, shit like that, I just feel like are unnecessary at this point. I know people are shocked. I get dudes all the time asking me, how much you bench press? I'm like, I don't know. I have no fucking clue. I haven't done a bench press in over a year. How much do you squat? I have no idea. I don't fucking squat. How much do you deadlift? Don't know. I don't deadlift anymore. I don't do any of them. So volume, I pushed the volume up this week by another set per exercise. I usually do something like 2 or 3 exercises per body part, per workout. I think I was doing something like 10 sets per body part per workout. So around 20 sets a week per body part this week. Some body parts less, some more. I found that some tolerate volume better. Like I can really blast the fuck out of my quads. Like I can do like 30 sets a week, no problem. Hamstrings for some reason, like 12 sets is all I need. Arms seem to be pretty resilient. Like you can do a shit ton of sets for arms and be fine. Chest, I don't need a ton. Shoulders need more volume. It's really individualistic, but that's just what I found for me. Cardio is going up to 20 minutes this week of HIIT cardio post-workout for 4 times a week. I do not do cardio on leg days, and as I progress through my contest prep, on my high day, I do not do any cardio. Typically, I want to preserve that day for kind of a recovery day and pushing extra carbs that day and allow my glycogen to refill. I don't want any cardio or anything to interfere with that. Coach's feedback, he just said, we're ramping things up this week. Plans, nothing's changed there. Show's June 11th. I'm going to get blood work done, usually about 4 to 6 weeks out. I don't know how long I'm not going to be able to train with this cyst. I go back to the doctor tomorrow. They packed it full of gauze. It's an open wound right now. They said if it looks better, they would stitch it up. So if they stitch it up tomorrow, I'm fucking training. They told me to take, how doctors are. They told me to take 2 weeks off from the gym. Fuck that. I'm not taking 2 weeks off from the gym. Now, I won't be stupid. I obviously Anything that's going to stretch. I blew one time I had to have surgery, and I blew the stitches open training, which was really fucking stupid. I got a giant ass scar on my back from doing that. You know, so you know, it's on my hamstring. I think it's a vertical cut. I didn't see it. It's still bandaged up. So if it's a horizontal cut, I'll have to be really, really careful with anything like stiff-legged deadlifts or anything like that. I might have to skip out on shit like that for a while. Just anything that's going to stretch at the wound. I may have to skip legs for a bit. I don't know. And that's pretty much it. You know, so hopefully this week will be quieter. More on track. You know, I've fought off a cold, work stress. You know, had to fucking go to the ER for a cyst, and I only missed one workout the whole week with all this bullshit going on. That's because I had to go to the ER and I couldn't train after I had a hole put in my leg. I got all my cardio in, and I followed my diet perfectly. Don't let bullshit that happens derail you. That's the lesson here. Alrighty, guys. Take care.